It was late. The silence of the house was broken by a hushed, angry conversation. Hansel and Gretel couldn't sleep. Hunger pangs kept them awake. They heard their stepmother's voice, cold and desperate. "We can't go on like this," she hissed. "There is no food left. If we share the last loaf of bread, we all die. But if we get rid of the burdens, maybe we can survive." The father was horrified. "Are you insane? You want me to abandon my own children in the woods?" "It's us or them," she snapped back. "Tomorrow we take them deep into the forest, where no path leads back. We leave them there. Maybe someone rich will find them. Maybe they'll survive. But here, they will definitely starve." The father fought back, tears in his eyes, but broken by hunger and his wife's dominance, he eventually gave in. In the other room, Gretel was shaking. Tears streamed down her face. "Hansel, they're going to kill us," she whispered. But Hansel, he didn't panic. He looked at his sister and said, "Don't worry, Gretel. I have a plan." Under the light of the full moon, Hansel sneaked out. He saw white flint stones, pebbles, shining like silver coins on the ground. He filled his pockets until they were bulging. This was his lifeline. The next morning, the stepmother woke them up with a fake smile. "Get up, lazy bones. We're going to the forest to gather wood. Here's your breakfast." She handed them each a tiny, stale crust of bread. The family began their march. The father walked with his head down, ashamed, but Hansel lagged behind. Every few steps, he secretly dropped a white pebble from his pocket onto the dark, mossy ground. They walked deeper than they had ever gone before. The trees towered over them like cage bars. Finally, they stopped. The stepmother said, "You two sit by this fire and rest. We're going to chop wood. We'll be back soon." Hansel and Gretel sat there. They heard the thud, thud of an axe. They thought their father was nearby, but it was a trick, a branch tied to a tree, banging in the wind. Hours passed. Night fell. The forest came alive with the sounds of wolves. Gretel began to cry. "They aren't coming back, are they?" Hansel stood up and grabbed her hand. "Wait for the moon." As the full moon rose above the trees, a miracle happened. The white pebbles Hansel had dropped caught the moonlight. They glowed like a string of LED lights on the dark forest floor. Following that glowing trail, step by step, they found their way back. When they knocked on the door at dawn, the stepmother was shocked. She played it off. "Oh, you naughty children! You slept in the woods?" But the father, he just hugged them, relief washing over him. They were safe. For now. But hunger doesn't just go away. A few weeks later, the cupboards were bare again. The stepmother's madness returned. "We have to do it again," she demanded, "and this time we take them even deeper." Hansel heard this and ran to get more pebbles, but this time the door was locked. The stepmother had anticipated him. He was trapped. The next morning, as they were dragged into the woods, Hansel had only one thing, his small piece of bread. In desperation, he crumbled it in his pocket. He dropped crumbs along the path, praying they would guide them home. They were left in the darkest part of the woods. The parents vanished. Night came. The moon rose. Hansel looked for his trail, but the ground was empty. Thousands of forest birds had eaten every single crumb. The path was gone. The lifeline was broken. Panic set in. For 3 days they wandered, starving, dehydrated, and losing hope. The forest was closing in on them. On the third day, near the brink of collapse, they saw a beautiful white bird. It chirped and flew slowly, beckoning them to follow. It led them to a clearing, and there it was, a house that defied logic. It wasn't made of wood or brick. The walls were made of gingerbread. The roof was covered in cakes and icing. The windows were spun sugar. Starving, the teenagers didn't ask questions. They ran. Hansel tore a chunk off the roof. Gretel smashed a window pane and ate the sugar glass. It was heaven. Suddenly, the door creaked open. An old woman hobbled out, leaning on a cane. She wore thick glasses and looked frail. "Oh, you poor dear children," she croaked. "You look famished. Come inside. I have pancakes, milk, and apples." It seemed too good to be true, and it was. They walked right into the belly of the beast. This wasn't a kind grandmother. This was a witch, a predator who built this house to lure children in to eat them. The moment the door shut, the mask fell off. The witch grabbed Hansel with surprising strength and threw him into a cage. "You," she pointed at Gretel, "you will work for me. We need to fatten your brother up. He's too skinny to roast." Every day, the blind witch would ask Hansel to stick out his finger to check if he was gaining fat. But Hansel was smart. He found a chicken bone in his food. Every time she asked, he stuck out the bone. The witch couldn't understand. "Why are you still so bony?" Weeks passed. Finally, she snapped, "I don't care if he's thin. I'm eating him today." She fired up the massive stone oven. The flames roared. She called Gretel over. "Girl, climb in and check if it's hot enough for the bread." Gretel knew exactly what was happening. If she climbed in, she was dead. She had to act. Playing innocent, she said, "I don't know how, Grandma. The opening is too small. How do I get in?" "You stupid girl," the witch yelled. "Look, it's easy." The witch shoved her head into the oven. This was the moment. With every ounce of strength she had, Gretel shoved the witch from behind. Wham! She slammed the iron door shut and locked it. The witch screamed as the fire took her. The nightmare was over. Gretel freed Hansel from the cage. They hugged, crying tears of relief. But before they left, they checked the witches' chests. They weren't filled with bones. They were filled with pearls, diamonds, and gold. They filled their pockets with enough wealth to buy the whole kingdom. With the witch dead, the forest seemed to clear. They found their way home. When they reached the cottage, the door stood open. Inside, they found a scene they didn't expect. Their stepmother was sitting on the floor, holding Hansel's old shirt, sobbing uncontrollably. The father was trying to comfort her. The moment she saw them, she didn't get angry. She froze. Then she ran to them, falling to her knees. "I'm so sorry," she wept. "I was a monster. Hunger drove me mad, but losing you, that broke me. I haven't slept a wink since you left." It wasn't a lie. She was genuinely broken by guilt. Hansel and Gretel saw the change in her. Hansel smiled. "It's okay. We're back. And look, we aren't poor anymore." He poured the diamonds onto the table. The room glittered with light. From that day on, the famine didn't matter. They had wealth, But more importantly, they had their family back. The stepmother spent the rest of her life making up for her mistake.